Welcome back to our channel's Warriors. If you haven't already smashed that subscribe button, go ahead and subscribe it. We are growing. Holy shit, we're on par to go to 7,000 subscribers. That's unheard of. So, this topic right here, there's different levels to this shit. No, really, there's different levels. People want to know, what's the level system? Well, California Department of Corrections has levels 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. All right, I'm going to talk about the different levels. I'm not going to go over point systems, but you get the idea. I'm also going to talk about what we see as correctional staff members, correctional peace officers amongst those levels, right? So, like, what you could expect, right? Prison is prison. You can expect anything to happen anywhere. I'll tell you that much right now. Okay, so it's not about point systems. It's about being in a volatile situation. But moving on to level 1. Your level 1 inmates are considered your minimum security inmates. Some level 1 facilities, such as Centinela State Prison, at the time did not have any barbed wire or concertina around the facility. Maybe they do now. I might have heard that they do now. So in essence, and it's like dorm settings. They had dorm 1, dorm 2. So all that's really stopping anybody from jumping over that fence is simply that, jumping over that fence. They weren't considered escapes when they would do that. They were considered like walkaways. That did happen. Not often as you would probably think, but that did happen. I mean, they're already at the lower, going home probably within 1 year, maybe even 2 years max. Wouldn't be ideal to run away, to escape. However, there were a lot of times they would hop the fence in the middle of the night, get a backpack full of tobacco, drugs, alcohol, cell phones, lighters, chargers, etc., and then jump back over the fence and have a party. That did happen. In case you didn't think we knew, we knew. So, level 1s, the politics, yeah, it's in their nature to just be push politics. And I'm talking about GP level 1s. I'm not going to go into this whole non-designated bullshit. You want to watch a non-designated video? There's another one on my channel. But I'm talking about like the way things used to be or the way things should be. Right? Level 1, GP in essence. Because before at Centinela, I think if you were a minimum inmate and or going to be paroling soon, they would just leave you on Delta Yard, which was SNY at the time. So they weren't really touching down on minimums because they would get their ass handed to them. So yeah, fights still do happen on minimum yards, level 1s. Riots happen on level 1. Murders, man, I just thought about this one. Since I'm going on this subject, I remember a time at Centinela where, and I was new, where in essence, I think they were Southsiders, Sureños. One of them got like a tuna can, because they had like tuna or like canned food, and like threw it at the back of the head of another inmate. Boom. The dude ended up dying. The victim. I remember they came in, ISU squad came in and gaffled all these like potential suspects or suspects. Somebody must have told. I didn't know the details. Like I said, I was new. I wasn't up in the game. But yeah, murders definitely do happen on minimum yards. Those are also the type of people that you used to see out at the community picking up trash, fixing shit, or, you know, at the park and stuff. I want to say they did away from the community crews. I haven't seen any lately. They would also be the type that are in the firehouses. So, like, the institution has like a local firehouse, inmate firefighters per se, and they'll be out there. They'll be working out. They'll be getting that firefighter training. It'll help them out when they transition out into the civilian world. And a lot of them do become successful firefighters, which is cool because they're giving back. All right, level 2. Level 2 is a step up from the level 1. Donovan Prison opened up their level 2 facility, but when they opened it up, it became non-designated. So level 2 did have a secured perimeter, right? It has gun towers and gun posts. However, they're not manned. So they're not really under gun coverage. Same shit as level 1, but now you're kind of turning it up a few notches. Same shit as level 1. You're going to have your fights. You're going to have your riots. You're going to probably have your murders. I mean, there's murders happening on level 1s. Why wouldn't it happen on a level 2? Mind you, these are just point systems. I've seen inmates be on a level 4 yard and drop all the points all the way down to a level 1 within my short time frame of knowing them or seeing them there. So yeah, I'm just giving you the point systems across the board. Level 2s, dorm settings, probably 6 men to a dorm, 6 people to a dorm. Which I wouldn't like to live that way. It's kind of, you got to deal with 6 different personalities. Fuck that. You got one toilet right there. So you got to, deal with all that kind of stuff. Day room. These are your level 2s, right? So kind of in between. Not necessarily the max freedom of a level 1 and not quite a level 3. So you're kind of in between. Level 3, this is where it starts getting spicy. This is where it starts turning up a few notches. Level 3s are for sure within a secured perimeter, within gun coverage, right? And if you're not under direct gun coverage, you have the potential to be under gun coverage. So if in the chow hall, like a level 4 yard, you will have gunners in the chow hall. A level 3 yard, there's ways that if it kicks off in the chow hall, in the dining hall, that we can get gunners in there fast. So, like, you're turning it up a few notches. Level 3s push the politics. Now, this is from my perspective, right? I would have rather all day long worked with level 4s over level 3s. And I'll get to that, and I'll get to why. To me, the level 3s played games. To me, the level 3s talk shit. They were kind of at that point where they're still trying to prove themselves and yet don't have the discipline, and I'm talking about the inmates, right? I can go on a whole tangent about staff, and I probably will, right? Because I told you this is a fair channel. So, the way they operate is kind of like, not loose, but sure not like a level 4. I like level 4s because you got a lot of lifers. Mind you, you can have lifers all the way down to level 2, so don't get that twisted, meaning they're doing life in prison. But the level 4s, you were either going to fight or you were not going to fight. They didn't play the games, right? They didn't have time to play the games. They're doing their thing. They're doing their life, right? So that's what I saw in the level 3s. For sure you're going to have riots. I talked about a couple already, and I'm going to share a couple more stories. Riots, murders. You will have stabbings on the level 3s. You will. But it's not as predominant as level 4s. Level 4 is almost a guarantee. Level 3s is not. What you're going to see a lot of, and I'm talking about assaults, inmate assaults. On staff or inmates. But on inmates, you're going to see a lot of 2-on-1s. They're going to send 2 inmates on one individual and just beat your ass until we see it. We call it on the radio. We have observation put the yard down. And then we get a response to go and quell that violence, right? We got to protect the victim and apprehend the suspects. That's what we do. It's prison. So, riots, yes. Immaturity, yes. Violent, yes. All right, you see how all this is coming to a head here. Like, these are how the point systems get down, and I'm very, very interested and intrigued to see how it works at other states. Please leave in the comments your range from your minimum to your most max levels, and maybe some stuff that you see or stuff that's maybe different. On to the level 4 killers. All right, this is... You notice how I said level 4 killers? I'm not talking about your level 4 SNY EOP. I'm not talking about that, right? I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the real deal. Level 4 GP, general population killers. That's what we refer to them as. I did like working level 4, man. I liked it. I fucking liked it. Is it dangerous? Yeah, but it's kind of like structured dangerous. They're not necessarily going to go off and beat your ass for no reason. I'm talking about GPs here. They're not. Is it possible? Yeah, anything is possible. I've already stated. Anybody can get drunk. Anybody can get high. Anybody can get out of pocket. And anybody can have a bad day. And it'll turn into a real bad day. So, level 4s. For sure, secured perimeter. For sure, you see the razor wire. You see fences, gates. Inside of a yard, you have other gates separating the yard. And I'm talking about a level 4 270. I never worked a level 4 180. I've seen level 4 180s, right? You go at the academy, you get to visit other prisons. I got to see 180s designs. But the difference between a 270 design housing unit and a 180 is the 270 is open, right? You got A section, B section, and C section. It's open. You can see. The 180 designs are way more secured. You have walls separating the sections of the housing units. But in all level 4s, you're still going to have gates and fences separating other areas of the yard, right? Just more security, way more security. Doesn't mean that shit doesn't happen. It does not mean that shit doesn't happen. It's just isolated, right? The goal of a supervisor was to isolate, contain, and control, right? That was my goal. And this is what I would tell the youngsters. Isolate, contain, and control. Eventually, you'll get shit under control. Eventually, the violence will quell down. You'll quell it. Then we can move forward. Medical attention and whatnot. 99.9% of these level 4 inmates are carrying weapons. For sure. Right? And if they're not carrying one, they're moving one, they're making one, they have weapons. All right. Shanks. One way that they transport these, they can fucking transport them anyways. Like in a book, in a shoe. But yeah, they do hoop it in their anal cavity, right? In their rectum. Now you could probably like think to yourself like, oh, wow, that's gross. That's this, that's that. I mean, fuck. Talk about warfare when they're fucking pulling that out of their ass, and then just, going to town stabbing a motherfucker or in a riot butchering people. Right? This is that type of mentality. This is that type of environment. Some level 4s are more notorious for violence than other level 4 prisons. And for California, it's not a fucking secret. I've gathered from the staff and from the inmates and from the videos on YouTube. In no particular order, but violent prisons in California, do your research. High Desert State Prison, I've never been there. Salinas Valley State Prison, I've been on the parking lot. And Calipatria State Prison, Calipat. Wow. Talk about the violence at those prisons. The reputation, right? Because my dad used to work for the department. And he would say, back in the day, when things were good, and he would tell me, hey, they just have the reputation. They just have the reputation for being violent. And they just always kept that reputation. So, if you're out of state and you guys have different institutions that are notorious or have that reputation for violence, put those down there. I kind of want to do some research. But yeah, they don't fucking play. Level 4s don't play. they use weapons 95% of the time. Everything is more calculated. Everything is more violent. Everything is operated in a certain manner. And I preferred that. Right? It wasn't you weren't gonna get into a shit talking match on a level 4 per se. Level 3s and down, yeah, you get these, youngsters and whatnot. But on level 4s, even the OG inmates would police their young, police their own, police the newer school. So riots, yes. Weapons, yes. Murders, constant, like, fuck. Like, California does a good job of showing, like, I just went to the website the other day, CDCR, and they'll say, like, hey, doing the pooch program, woo, doing the rehabilitation, like, yay. Like, all this is true. It is happening, but what they're doing is kind of propaganda. They're kind of shining the light away from the real violence that's still happening to this day. So that's level 1 through 4. Like I said, I've seen level 1s drop points all the way down. I mean, level 4s drop all the way down to level 1. So that's kind of an in between. But that's how they operate on those levels. So with that, I'm going to close out. The message for today. The message for today is going to be just having an open mind. Having an open mind in general. I talked about, as a cop, you gotta have an open mind to move. One day you could be on the level 1. The next day you call in, hey Sarge, where am I working? Charlie Yard. Oh, fuck. Put me out sick. Nah, just kidding. So that did kind of happen, but have an open mind, man. Right? And this is shit you learn when you're a kid, man. They say if you point at somebody, you're gonna have 3 fingers pointing back at you. It's fucking simple shit that I've always remembered, alright? Focus on yourself, focus on helping others, and you'll be alright. Keep pushing forward.